Some voices transcend time, defining not just an era, but entire generations. As these legendary icons enter their 90s, their lives are rich with stories of triumph, heartache, and unparalleled talent. From the golden falsettos of Frankie Valli to the soulful resonance of Pat Boone, these rock legends have lived lives as epic as their greatest hits. Curious about the journeys behind these unforgettable voices? Join us as we take a closer look at the rock icons whose lives faced significant challenges despite their successes. Number 10. Frankie Valli. Frankie Valli, the golden voice behind The Four Seasons, dominated the charts in the 1960s with smash hits like Sherry and Walk Like a Man. His signature falsetto was unlike anything heard before, making him a fixture on the airwaves and in pop culture. The 1970s saw him riding high with solo successes like My Eyes Adored You and the Grease theme song. But behind the scenes, life was unraveling. In the late 1970s, Valli was diagnosed with autosclerosis, a condition that left him nearly deaf and jeopardized the very thing that made him famous, his voice. But it didn't stop there. After a brief period of adapting to the changing music scene, his career hit a lull, and personal tragedy struck. In the 1980s, Frankie lost both his stepdaughter and youngest daughter just 6 months apart, a devastating blow that would haunt him for years. The pressures of fame, combined with the pain of personal loss, threatened to pull him under. But Valli's resilience never wavered. He fought back, both personally and professionally, undergoing surgery to restore his hearing and returning to the stage with renewed energy. Today, even in his 90s, Valli performs in Las Vegas, showing that no matter how much life throws at him, the legend continues to rise. In 2024, Valli's enduring influence was immortalized with a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, a tribute to a man who never stopped fighting, despite the overwhelming challenges he faced. Number 9. Petula Clark. Petula Clark, the celebrated British singer, actress, and songwriter, skyrocketed to fame in the 1960s with her hit song Downtown, an anthem of escapism that captured the hearts of millions. Dubbed the First Lady of the British Invasion, Clark became a household name on both sides of the Atlantic, selling over 68 million records and starring in films like Finian's Rainbow, for which she earned a Golden Globe nomination. However, while her career was glittering on the surface, cracks began to appear beneath the spotlight. By the 1970s, Clark's career faced the brutal realities of a rapidly changing music industry. The rise of new genres and younger artists led to a decline in her popularity, leaving her fighting to stay relevant in an industry she once dominated. But the career struggles weren't the only challenge. Her personal life also began to unravel. Her marriage became strained, partly due to the demands of international fame, and the pressure to remain in the spotlight took a toll on her mental and emotional health. Despite these setbacks, Clark's resilience became a defining part of her legacy. While many stars from her era faded into obscurity, Clark continued to push forward, evolving her sound and finding solace in her music. Even at 91, she remains an active performer, recently collaborating with the John Williams Syndicate, proving that her love for music never waned. Petula Clark's journey serves as a testament to the power of perseverance in an industry known for its fleeting fame. Number 8. Pat Boone. Pat Boone, once one of America's most beloved teen idols, captivated audiences in the 1950s with his wholesome image and smooth pop hits. With nearly 50 million records sold and 38 top 40 hits, Boone was a driving force in the early days of rock and roll. His renditions of rhythm and blues classics helped bridge racial divides in music, making him a key figure in bringing rock into mainstream American culture. He even hosted the Pat Boone Chevy Showroom, where he showcased the emerging talents of the time, further cementing his place in pop culture. However, as the 1960s unfolded and the British invasion swept across the US, Boone's squeaky clean image and music style began to feel out of step with the rebellious, countercultural tide led by bands like the Beatles and the Rolling Stones. His career struggled to maintain momentum as musical tastes shifted, and his once overwhelming popularity began to fade. Boone also faced deep personal hardship later in life. In 2019, his wife Shirley, his partner of 65 years, passed away, leaving him devastated. Their relationship had been a cornerstone of his public persona, and her death marked the end of an era for Boone. In the years following her passing, he leaned into his faith and became a motivational speaker and conservative commentator, focusing on the values that had sustained him throughout his career. Now 90, Boone remains active, though his presence in the entertainment industry has shifted from center stage to a quieter, more reflective role. His legacy endures both as a pop icon of the 1950s and as a symbol of resilience, faith, and perseverance in the face of personal and professional challenges. Number 7. Willie Nelson. Willie Nelson, a cornerstone of American country music, is as much a legend for his laid-back, free-spirited persona as for his groundbreaking contributions to the outlaw country movement. His albums, Shotgun Willie and Red-Headed Stranger, along with his timeless hit On the Road Again, have cemented his status as one of the most influential figures in the genre. In the 1970s, he became a symbol of rebellion against the polished Nashville sound, championing a more raw and authentic style that resonated deeply with fans. But while Nelson's career was marked by monumental successes, his personal and financial life hit turbulent waters. In 1990, the Internal Revenue Service came calling with a devastating claim. Nelson owed $16.7 million in unpaid taxes. The fallout was severe, with the IRS seizing nearly all of his assets, including his beloved properties. To pay off the debt, Nelson took an unusual approach. He recorded the IRS tapes, Who'll Buy My Memories, an album specifically designed to raise funds to settle his financial woes. This chapter in his life showcased his resilience, as Nelson turned hardship into opportunity and embraced his renegade reputation. Tragedy struck even earlier in his life, when a 1969 fire ravaged his Tennessee ranch, destroying cherished possessions and shaking his sense of stability. But true to form, Nelson rebounded from this loss, continuing to push boundaries in both music and life. Now, 91, Willie Nelson's spirit remains as unbreakable as ever. He continues to tour, performing alongside his family, and records new music that keeps his voice alive for generations of fans. Number 6. Kris Kristofferson. Kris Kristofferson, a legendary American singer, songwriter, and actor, became a defining voice of the 1970s with timeless hits like Me and Bobby McGee and Help Me Make It Through the Night. His deep, soulful voice solidified his place in the outlaw country movement, which stood in defiance of the polished Nashville sound. Kristofferson also enjoyed a successful acting career, earning a Golden Globe in his performance in A Star Is Born. However, the 1980s brought significant challenges. His left-leaning political views alienated some of the country music establishment, causing a decline in his popularity. His role in the film Heaven's Gate further compounded his struggles, as the movie became infamous for being both a critical and financial disaster. Despite these setbacks, Kristofferson continued to push forward, staying true to his ideals and craft. In 2021, he officially retired from touring due to health issues, marking the end of an era. Number 5. Neil Sedaka. Neil Sedaka, an American singer and songwriter, rose to stardom in the late 1950s with chart-topping hits like Oh Carol and Calendar Girl, cementing his status as a teen idol. His catchy melodies and smooth vocals won him millions of fans around the world. However, by the mid-1960s, Sedaka's popularity waned as musical trends shifted, leaving him somewhat sidelined in an industry undergoing rapid change. But Sedaka wasn't one to fade quietly. In the 1970s, he staged an impressive comeback with hits like Laughter in the Rain and Bad Blood, regaining his place in the music scene and proving his lasting appeal. His career, which spanned over 6 decades, saw him write over 500 songs, not only for himself, but for numerous other artists. Despite health challenges and the natural difficulties of staying relevant in a constantly evolving industry, Sedaka remained active well into his 80s. He embraced social media to connect with fans, demonstrating his adaptability and passion for music. Even at 85, Sedaka continued to perform, his enduring talent and charm keeping him a beloved figure in the world of music. Number 4. Ringo Starr. Ringo Starr, the iconic drummer for the Beatles, earned recognition for his steady rhythms and unique drumming style, contributing to the band's timeless hits. Besides keeping the beat, Starr also took the mic on classics like Yellow Submarine and With a Little Help from My Friends. After the Beatles disbanded in 1970, Ringo launched a solo career, delivering hits such as It Don't Come Easy and Photograph. His 1973 album, Ringo, was a major success, featuring collaborations with his former bandmates. However, Starr's post-Beatles journey wasn't without struggles. Personal issues, including a battle with alcoholism, took a toll on his relationships and career in the late 1970s and early 1980s. Fortunately, Ringo sought help, achieving sobriety in the late 80s, which marked a turning point in his life. In 1989, he formed the All-Star Band, embarking on tours that revitalized his career and kept him in the music scene. Even at 84, Ringo Starr continued to tour, release new music, and remain a beloved figure in the industry, proving that his legacy extends far beyond his time with the Beatles. Number 3. Bob Dylan. Bob Dylan, the iconic singer-songwriter, defined an era with his profound lyrics and unmistakable voice. Rising to fame in the 1960s with timeless tracks like Blowin' in the Wind and Like a Rolling Stone, Dylan's music became the soundtrack for the civil rights and anti-war movements. His 6-decade career is filled with critically acclaimed albums and countless awards, culminating in a Nobel Prize in Literature in 2016. A rare honor for a musician. Dylan's journey wasn't without obstacles. In the late 1960s, a severe motorcycle accident forced him into seclusion, marking a turning point in his career. His music became more introspective, reflecting personal struggles and societal shifts. The 1980s proved to be a challenging period, with a decline in his popularity and harsh criticism of his work. However, as only Dylan could, he staged a stunning comeback in the late 1990s with Time Out of Mind, earning multiple Grammy Awards and reestablishing himself as a creative force. Now, at 83, Dylan continues to tour and release music, proving that his influence on the world of music and culture is as enduring as ever. His ability to evolve while staying true to his roots has solidified his status as one of the greatest artists in music history. Number 2. Johnny Cash. Johnny Cash, one of the most enduring figures in both country and rock music, rose to fame in the 1950s with timeless hits like I Walk the Line and Folsom Prison Blues. Known for his signature all-black wardrobe and deep, resonating voice, Cash embodied the rebellious spirit of American music, earning him the nickname The Man in Black. His success continued into the 1960s with a string of chart-topping songs and albums that cemented his status as a music legend. However, Cash's life was far from smooth. By the late 1960s and 1970s, his struggles with drugs and alcohol took a severe toll on his personal and professional life. He faced multiple arrests and strained relationships, including with his beloved wife, June Carter Cash. Despite these hardships, Cash made an extraordinary comeback in the 1990s, teaming up with producer Rick Rubin for the American Recording Series. This collaboration revitalized his career and introduced his music to a new generation. His haunting cover of Nine Inch Nails' Hurt became an emotional anthem, showcasing Cash's raw vulnerability in his later years. Johnny Cash passed away in 2003 at the age of 71. Just months after June's death. Despite the turbulence of his life, Cash's legacy as a musical pioneer and his ability to connect with audiences on a deeply personal level endure, making him one of the most iconic figures in music history. Number 1. Eddie Van Halen. Eddie Van Halen, the legendary guitarist who co-founded the rock band Van Halen, forever changed the landscape of rock music in the 1970s and 1980s. Known for his revolutionary guitar techniques, including the now iconic finger-tapping style, Eddie's talents was on full display in hits like Jump and the mind-blowing solo Eruption. His electrifying stage presence and unmatched skill cemented his place as one of the greatest guitarists of all time. Van Halen's meteoric rise to fame brought a slew of chart-topping albums and sold-out tours, making the band one of the most successful rock acts in history. But behind the scenes, Eddie faced significant personal struggles, including a long battle with substance abuse that strained his health and relationships. His ongoing issues with addiction at times impacted his ability to perform and stay active in the public eye. In 2001, Eddie's battle took a more dire turn when he was diagnosed with throat cancer, a diagnosis that marked the beginning of a long, difficult fight for his health. Despite his struggles, Eddie continued to make music and inspire fans and fellow musicians alike. Sadly, Eddie Van Halen passed away in 2020 at the age of 65. His death marked the end of an era, but his groundbreaking contributions to rock and guitar playing live on, inspiring countless musicians around the world. His legacy, much like his music, is truly timeless. As we reflect on the lives of these rock legends, their resilience in the face of personal and professional challenges serves as a testament to their incredible journeys. Each of their stories is filled with moments of triumph, heartbreak, and the enduring love for music that continues to inspire us. Which of these iconic figures has touched you the most? Let us know in the comments. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more timeless stories from the legends who shaped the soundtrack of our lives.